Okay, I was saying that I'm María Eugenia Blasco from AGM Abogados. We are the lawyers who work with ESADE to apply for the extensions of our MBA students of ESADE, extensions of the students permit. Many of you are now in the process to apply for the renewal or will come in the next months. So we will try to explain you how to act. We will apply on your behalf for all of you, so we can do it even in this time, in this tough time for everybody. I know many of you are in your home countries, maybe, and it's possible to do the process anyway if you are there. So don't worry about that. I will explain. Well, AGM Abogados is a law firm who works not only with immigration issues. We have all departments, labor department, criminal department, M&A, all the areas. So if you have other questions, civil issues, everything. If you have other things to to work with, we can also help you with that. But my department is the immigration department, and we are here today to explain about the extension of the student visa, the renewal. So, well, let's start with an introduction about the extension of the student permit. Important things to be considered with the extension of the student permit. First thing is the deadline of the application. We need to apply 60 days before from 60 days before the expiration date of the card. You have the expiration date in your card. Here where is the mark is the validity of the card. It says when the card expires. So we go back 60 days from that date, and is the time when we can start with the application. But we can also apply in the 90 days after the expiration of the card. It's supposed that now terms are stopped during the COVID alarm, but our recommendation is to apply on time anyway. So the administration is working. We are doing procedures now in this moment, and we are having answers from the administration. So even the terms are stopped, and if your card expires today, the days comes after the end of the alarm state to apply for the renewal. We can also apply now, and I think it's better. Our opinion is that it's better to start now because as the administration is working, but they don't have the same work that in other moments because they are now receiving people in person in the offices. They can do more work with this kind of files. So we are receiving answers very fast. And if you are on time now to renew, you can have an answer maybe in 1 week, 2 weeks, or 1 month. But if you apply later, it could take more time. This term, 60 days before the expiration date and 90 days after, if the 90 days ends in this moment, it's supposed that the days counting since the 16th March until now doesn't count. So we have these days after the end of the alarm period. But as I said, I think it's not a good idea to wait, and we can do it now. I have all your expiration data of the cards, and I think very few of you are now on time to apply or are starting on time, and any of you are in this situation. But if you know anybody who is in this situation, our recommendation is to do it now and don't wait until the end of the alarm state. The other thing is that we have to do an online application, a telematic application, and we will do it on your behalf. This telematic application needs a digital certificate, but you don't need to have it. We will have it, and we will apply on your behalf. So you don't need a digital certificate, but all the application will be online. So we only need the documents, a scanned copy of the documents, scanned copy of the signed forms, so we can do everything online or by mail without see each other in person. So that this alarm situation doesn't affect us for the procedure. Another very important thing, If you need to travel while the car is expired, you need a return authorization, autorización de regreso. First thing, if you are out now of Spain and you need to come back to Spain, if you come back before the expiration of your card, it's okay, you won't have any problem. If you need to come back after the date of the expiration of the card, you will need to enter as a tourist. So you will need to prove all the requirements for a tourist. If you come from a country where you need a visa to enter in Spain, you will need this tourist visa to enter in Spain. If you come from a country where when you don't need a visa to enter, you need to prove the other requirements needed to enter as a tourist: a flyback ticket, a place to be in Spain, money to spend in Spain while you are here as a tourist in these days, and the flyback ticket needs to be less than 90 days before the entry date. That's if you enter after the expiration of your card. So if possible, my recommendation is to come back before the expirations of the card. Of course, if possible, I know the situation in many countries now is very difficult and we have no flights and other restrictions, so maybe it's not possible. So but if you are here or if you come back before the expiration of your card, and while we are in the process to renew, once the card is expired, you need to travel, you need to go out of Spain, you will need this return authorization. It's a permit to go out of Spain and enter again in Spain from outside Schengen. You need to apply for this return authorization in the police station in Spain in person. So you need to do that before leaving Spain. If you leave without this autorización de regreso, you will need to enter as a tourist. If you are out and you don't have this and you pretend to enter after the expiration of your cards, you will need to enter as a tourist with all the requirements for a tourist. This is very important, and this is a doubt many students have during the process. It's a very common question. I need to travel, what I need to do? You need this return authorization. This procedure is not included in the service we have with ESADE, but we can also provide you these services apart with an extra cost if you are interested to do it, or you can do it yourself with an appointment in the police station. Of course, when everything ends. Now the police station is closed. All the police stations are closed during the alarm state, so we cannot apply for return authorizations or to apply for new cards. Only in very, very special situations, if you need to travel because you have a trial in your country. This is more or less the only situation they will give you. They will open the police station for you and give you this permit to go out. So if you want to travel because on holidays, because this situation you think you will be better in your country, is not a excuse to open the police station and apply for this return authorization. So apart the return authorization, another thing to be considered is even we apply now and we have the answer in 1 week or 2 weeks, we cannot apply for the new card until the next day after the expiration date of the card you have now. So if your card expires the 1st June, we can start the application now because we are in the 60 days before the expiration date. We can start. We may have the answer in 1 week or 2 weeks, but we cannot apply for the new card until the 2nd June, which is the day after the expiration of your card. We cannot apply for cards before the one you have is expired. This is another important thing, and you need to consider all these issues to plan your trips or the time you need to be out of Spain. Because to apply for the new card, you need to be in person in Spain too, to go to the police station, because you need to stamp your fingerprints and we can cut your hands. We don't want it. So you need to be here. And to pick up the car after 4 weeks, you will need to be here too. So if you leave once you apply for the new card, you need the return authorization, and when you come back, you will be able to pick up the card if ready. Okay, this is general considerations about the process that you need to have very clear. First, the application deadline, 60 days before the expiration date, 90 days after, but we can do it now if you are during this period. Telematic application, so we will do everything by mail. We don't need to see each other in person. If you need to travel in any moment during, and since the moment the card is expired and you have the new one, you need a return authorization, and we cannot apply for the new card until the one you have now is expired. So, which documents we need to apply for the extension of the student permit? First thing is a form. You will have this presentation. We will send it to you, and click here in the photo of the form. You will have the link to fill it. Anyway, we can fill it for you. We will fill it for you, and we will send it to you to be signed and send it back to us, a scanned copy with your signature. Your signature needs to be handmade signature. It's not possible if you draw it with paint. Well, it's very well done, it's okay, but if it's a bad paint way, it's not valid. It's not valid to write it down with capital letters. No, it's your signature. So you will need to print the form we will send to you, sign it, scan it, and send it back to us. We will prepare also a representative document. This is an authorization to do the application on your behalf. We will do it. We will send it to you. You again print it, sign it, scan it, and send it back to us by mail. And this is the authorization to do this procedure on your behalf with or digital certificate, not a digital certificate under your name. Obtain a digital certificate needs to be done in person, and it's not possible to do it now. So it's not an option for you in this moment. If in the future you want this digital certificate, there are many ways to apply for it, but you need to go to the administration in person to make an appointment to go there, and they will give you the information how to install it in your computer and to do it. But you don't need that because we will apply on your behalf. We also need a copy of your passport, a full copy of your passport, full copy, scanned copy of your passport. When I say full copy, it's very important because we need all the pages, even the blank ones. And many students sometimes only send the page with the personal data. Other times you only send the pages where do you have stamps or visas. No, we need all the pages. Why? Well, if they are blank ones, why? Well, because the administration won't know if there's a stamp or not if they don't see the page. So we need from page 1 to the last one, all the copies. And if possible, please send it in a single document, PDF document. Of course, not photo, it's not valid photos where we can see your hands, your fingers, a bit close of the passport, not plain, or other ways. Try to, I know we are maybe now in a difficult situation to do that if you don't have a scanner, or if you can go to a place where to do it. But with our mobile phones today, we have many options, and try to do it in a correct way. If not, make photos, cut the photos in your computer and send it to us in a single document, in a single PDF, please. It's very important because we have to do a lot of copies, and we need to check all the pages are there, and the quality. If we don't present a good copy of the passport, the procedure will be delayed because they will ask us for another copy. We also need a copy of your TIE, of your card. TIE is Foreigners Identification Card, Tarjeta de Identidad de Extranjero. This is the TIE, which is the card you have. The NIE is the Foreigners Identification Number. Is the number contained in your card. Usually it starts with Y, but if you have been in Spain many years ago, it could be an X. This is the NIE number, but the NIE is in the TIE card. Okay, and we need a scanned copy of this TIE. We also need a profile letter. ESADE will provide it. We have been talking with ESADE, and even in this situation, they can provide profile letters and enrollment letter for the next course. They will give you these documents. You can ask the advisor, the student center, how to get them. It's in the system, in online campus. You have the option, but if you have any doubt, in the Students Advisor Center will help you with the information and how can you get it. And we also need, this is not essential, but if you have it, it's okay. A new empadronamiento. The empadronamiento is the register in the city hall in your house when you arrive to do the first card. You may need to go to register you in the city hall of the place you live, and you will have a certificate with your address. If you haven't changed the address, we don't need this document. It's okay. They will put the same address in the new permit that you now have in your card. If you are in a new address and you have this new certificate, we can put it in the file and they will change the address. If you don't have it now and you can get it because now in this situation you can go in person to the city hall to get it, don't worry, it's not necessary. We will be able to change the address when we have the answer and go to the police station. If we bring in that moment the new empadronamiento in the new address, they will change it in the card. Anyway, if we don't bring it in that moment because we can't, don't worry, because it's not a problem. They will put the old address and we won't have any problem because they won't check if you live there or not, or they won't send anything to the house if you don't live there. So if you have the empadronamiento, it's better. It's always great to have the correct address in your card, but if it's not possible, don't worry, it's not necessary. Okay, so apart from these documents, apart from these documents, we also need a tax. Here you have the link to fill the tax, to prepare the tax. I will explain you how to get it and to pay it. The banks are open. It's possible to pay it also in the ATM cash counter in BBVA bank, BBVA, or in other banks if you have the credit card of that bank or the card of that bank. You have an account in that bank. But if you have big problems to do this, you can pay with card in our website this amount, and we will pay on your behalf the tax. Okay. We will give you the details once we start with the procedure with you. The tax form, once you enter in the link, you will have this, and you need to mark this option. The second one is fill and print the form. Then you will have this, you will see this. You need to select Barcelona. If you are registered in Barcelona, it's the province of Barcelona. If you are registered empadronados in Girona or Lleida or Tarragona, then you will need to select that province. It's not the province where you are studying, it's the province where you live, where you need to mark it. But you live in the officially you live in the province where you are empadronado or empadronada, registered in the city hall. You select Barcelona, and then you fill here your NIE, your name, your nationality, your address, phone number, and then you mark 1.3, the option 1.3, which is extension of a student's visa. And the amount will appear automatically, 17 with 15 cents. You put here the code number will appear, and obtener documento, obtain document. And then you will generate this one in PDF. There are 3 copies of this document. One is suppose it's for you, the other is for the administration, And the third one, which is a bit different, doesn't have the second part of the document, is for the bank. If you go in person to the bank and pay in the bank counter, then they will keep one of the forms and they will give you two forms, the one for the administration and the one for the applicant, and with a stamp in both of them, or the receipt of the payment. We will need the receipt of the payment or the document with the stamp of the bank. Original document scanned, not the original one, the scanned one. You also can pay, as I said, in ATM with cash and BBA with cash. In this one, it's possible to pay with cash because they have special ATMs for these things. If not, in any automatic cash dispenser with bank cards of the same entity. If you go to La Caixa, you will only be able to pay it if you have an account in La Caixa and you have a card from this account. Again, if you have problems to pay them, you can pay by card in our website the amount, and we will pay for you. Apart from the form, the passport, the card, and the tax, we also need to prove your economic resources. To get the first permit, you already need to prove you have money to spend to live in Spain while you are here as a student, because you are here studying, and with this permit you cannot work. So it's supposed you have incomes to live here without working, and we need to prove them. The way to prove them is a bit different from the first time. The embassies or consulates sometimes are a bit more relaxed with this. Sometimes it's worse, but sometimes they accept documents from your family easily, accounts from your family, and that's all, or things like that. To prove now the economic resources to apply for the extension, we need to prove a monthly income minimum of 538 euros, more or less, 37 with 84. This is the monthly income you need to prove. It will depend on the months you are studying. You will apply for the extension. If it's 1 year, then it's 6,454 euros, more or less. This is for one person. If you have relatives, depending on you, so if you have a student permit, but you have your wife or your husband and your kids under 18 with a family student permit, you will need to prove more economic resources, the amount for you, and this amount, 400 with 3 euros more for the first person, depending on you, and 269 additional euros for each person from the third one. This is monthly amounts, and we need to multiply it for the months you will be here studying. The annual amount is 6,455, not 6,000. It's this amount you have here. This is for 1 year. How to prove it? Well, the easy way to prove it, the one which won't give us any problem, is if you have a bank account in Spain with this amount and you ask for a bank certificate. It needs to be a bank certificate, not a print of the app, not a print of the ATM with your amount. No, a bank certificate. Many apps of the banks, you can apply online for it. You can apply in the app, and they will send it to you. It may have a cost for you. Sometimes the bank charges 10 euros or 12 euros, something like that, to do that certificate. But it's the best way to prove it. If not, it could be a bank statement with all the movements of the last month or last 2 months, and with the original stamp with the bank, not only to print it. It needs to have the original stamp of the bank. If it's a Spanish bank account, a Spanish bank, and you have this amount, everything will be perfect. If not, we will need more documents and sometimes problems to prove it. So if you don't have to start now with the renewal, now it's not the best moment to go to a bank to open an account, I understand, But when everything ends, if you are still on time to apply, you may try to open the bank account and make the money transfer to have the money here. This way we won't have problems. We only need to have this amount in the moment we apply. Once we have applied, if you send this money back to another country or to your family, it's not a problem. We need it in the moment we apply, or until we have the answer to be sure, just in case they ask for a new certificate because the previous one has a mistake. I don't know, but only to the application. Not, you don't need to have this money the whole year. If you don't have the Spanish bank account, then there are two options. You maybe have a bank account in another country under your name, and then we can prove the economic resources with this bank account under your name in the other country. But we need a certificate from the bank saying, of course, that the account is under your name, the amount in euros in the account. If it's in another currency, we need the amount in euros or the exchange in the moment of the certificate, which is the exchange in euros in that moment, to know the amount you have in euros. We also need that the bank explains or certificate how you have this money in Spain. How can you get this money in Spain? Because it's a bank account in another country. So if you can get this money with a card in any kind of ATMs, the bank needs to certificate it, needs to explain it in the certificate. And we will need this document legalized and with a short translation. I will go later with short translations and legalizations or apostilles. So if you don't have the bank account in Spain, you can use a bank account abroad under your name with the amount we said before, but with the amount in euros or the exchange rate in euros, and the way you get this money in Spain. How can you use the money in Spain? How can you get it? If it's not your money, if the money comes from your family, even you had a notarial letter, a document, a declaration done by your family in the moment you apply for the first visa, we need a new one now. And this letter needs to be in front of a notary in your country. Your family needs to be, or your father, mother, wife or husband, or a brother, sister. Other family members could be a problem. So the accepted, directly accepted ones are these ones. And they need to say the amount they send you, yearly or monthly, which needs to be more than the minimum I said before. How long they will send this money needs to be for the time you will be here as a student until your course ends. And the way you have this money in Spain, if they will give you a money transfer under your account in Spain, or if you will use a card under your name but linked to their account, or the way you get the money in Spain. This is very important. And last year we had many problems with applications without a Spanish bank account, because the administration requests this information from the banks abroad. How can the student use the money from Spain? And sometimes it's not easy to get this information from the bank or get it fast. So this is the responsibility letter of your family, saying the amount they send you, how long they send it, and how can you use the money in Spain. But you will also need bank certificates or tax returns, tax declaration of your family member to prove they have the money to leave them and to send to you the money you need. It's not enough with the notarial letter. We need also the bank statements of your family. So this is the way to prove your economic resources. once we start with the procedure with any of you, you can explain me how you get the money or how you have it, and we will explain you in your situation which specific document you need. But more or less is that ones I'm saying. There's no different ones that these ones. For a bank statement from an account in Spain, a bank statement from an account abroad, but with the amount in euros and saying how you get the money in Spain, or a letter from your family with bank certificates from them, saying the amount they send you, how long they send it to you, and how you can get the money in Spain. Any document done abroad, so if we don't have the bank statement in Spain, we will need these documents must be legalized for apostille and translated by a sworn translator. Legalized apostille, what's this? Suppose you know it because to get the first visa, you need to legalize all the documents from your country, your criminal records, your medical certificate, and maybe others. There are two kinds of countries. Countries who are in the H agreement, which have the apostilla de la Haya, apostille, and these countries only need a stamp in the documents. It's a unique stamp, valid in all the countries and recognized for all the countries in this agreement. If your country is one of these, you only need this stamp in your documents. To get it, you need to do it in your country, in the foreigner ministry of your country. We have a link with the address to know where you can get it. It's very strange that you need to go in person. I don't know any place where they say that you need to go in person to do this. You can send it with a relative, or many times there are services in the country that you pay and they do it for you. So we have this, and in some countries we also have telematic options to get this apostille sometimes. So we need to check in your case, which is the situation. But if your country is not a country from the H agreement, el convenio de la Haya in Spanish, then you need to have 3 different stamps. The first stamp is the one who does the document, or the authority just above this one. The second one is the foreign ministry of your country, foreign ministry, sorry. And the third one is the Spanish embassy or Spanish consulate in your country. Not in Spain, not your consulate in Spain. The Spanish consulate in your country. For the countries that doesn't have the apostille, we need these 3 stamps. Later in the questions, if you have any doubt about it, we can go deeply. And the sword translator. The sword translator is a special translator. We have a list in the foreign ministry in Spain. We have a list of translators who are recognized by the Spanish authorities. So we need the person who translates the documents is in this list. We are working with a translator office who can do that in all the languages. So if you have that, we can manage it for you and send to you the invoice and then pay directly by card on their website, so you won't have any problems. But before apply for a translation, if you are not sure, ask us to be sure that this translator is in the list that is valid. So this is about economic resources. And the last requirement is about private health insurance. We will also need to prove a private health insurance to be in Spain. With white cover, without copayment, and without waiting periods. Last year, we had some instructions for the administration saying that if the copayments were less than 10 euros, it was okay. And if there was a limit, it was not white cover, but the limit was over 100,000 euros, was okay too. If you already have an insurance and it's not white cover without copayments and a Spanish one, we can check if it's valid before extend it to be sure that it will be valid. If not, we will recommend others. And also in the Students Advisor Center have have some options with private health insurance that are valid to renew. My recommendation, our recommendation under our experience is if you need to do a new one now, do one with white cover, without co-payments and without waiting periods, because we will be sure we won't have problems. Okay. It's possible that the insurance you used to obtain the first visa, maybe in that moment was valid. Now to do the extension is not valid. It's the same reason I explained with the economic resources. In that moment, it's the consulate who validates it. And in that moment, you are abroad. So it's more, they could understand that it's more difficult for you to get a Spanish health insurance. So they sometimes accept travel insurance or insurance from your country. But once you are in Spain, we will need a cover here in Spain, better with a Spanish service. So if you have doubts about it, we will see in the questions later, or we can analyze your situation one by one when we start with the procedure. So these are the requirements. Quick resume. Forms, we will prepare it. Tax, you can pay it, but if you have problems, we can prepare it. But we need to receive the money first. Then the economic resources, the health insurance, and 2 letters from ESADE. One, or sometimes we use the same one if it says the same information. Is the profit letter and the enrollment letter for the next course. With these documents, we used to have an individual meeting at the ESADE campus to do that. Last year we did it, but of course during this alarm state, these meetings are suspended. So you can deliver us the documents by mail, as I said, scan a copy of the documents and we can start. And if you need to apply or if your card expires in September, October, we can wait until everything ends and we will do these meetings in ESADE. But if you are already on time, or if your card expires before in June, during this month, we will be on time to, this month in April, we are on time to apply. And my recommendation is to start doing it. Even, as I said, even if you are in your countries, we can do it. So we can start preparing these documents and we can apply on your behalf. We don't need to see each other in person in the campus because we can do everything online. So you will deliver us the documents. You will sign the representative document on the form. If we are in person in that moment in ESADE, okay. If not, as I said, we send it to you, you print it, sign, scan, and send it back to us. And if there's something remaining, we will explain to you, but please check this presentation. And now if you have doubts, I can solve it, because remember, you are a lot of people, and any of you have a different situation sometimes, but the documents are the ones I said, and the situation is the same for all of you. So if we need to answer again and again the same thing, explaining about the economic resources is what I explained. Even your situation is different, you need one of these documents. So if you ask for it, I won't have another answer. The answer is bank statement in Spain, bank statement in your country with the amount in euros and the way you get the money in Spain, or the documents from your family. There are another way. Okay, so try to see these documents and send them to us. We will apply on your behalf, and if once we apply, the administration considers we need more documents, they will send us a request of additional documents, and then when you need to provide us of these documents, we will let you know, and we have 7 working days to have the documents, because we only have 10 working days to add the documents to the file. These 7 or 10 working days are stopped now. So if we apply now, but there's any document we don't have, don't worry, we can start. the administration will ask us for the document which is remaining, and we can wait until the end of the alarm state to add this document, to have this document and add it. We will have, since the moment the alarm state ends, we will have 10 days to add it. But you can start preparing it now, and we will add it later. Okay, so even you think now you can have one of these documents, we can talk about it, because maybe it's possible to apply because we will have it in 1 month and it will be possible to add it. Okay, the maximum legal time to obtain a resolution is 3 months. But the will depend on the volume of work of the administration. It can be less or it can be more. Last year, the applications we did since April until August, we had the answers in 1 week, very fast, sometimes even 2 days, from 2 days to 2 weeks maximum. But in September, October, there are much more applications in that moment, because there are many applications in that moment, because there are, the big number of students in the country have the expiration of the permit in September, October, because it's the time you start the studies usually. So if we wait until the last minute to apply, we will be in this big number of students, and the answer will take 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, even more sometimes. So we have 60 days before the expiration, and we can do it even if you are not in Spain. Let's do it with provision. This way, the next day, after the expiration of your card, we will be able to go to the police station, apply for the new card, and you will be only 1 month with an expired card until you have the new one. I know many of you needs to go abroad for exchanges. Well, things are a bit strange now, and we won't know in the future, but we hope everything comes back to normality in a few months, and you can do your exchanges without problem. So if you want to leave Spain with your new card, we need to be very provisional with the application and with all the documents. Okay, we will see this situation with any of you individually, but don't wait. If your card expires in October, don't wait until end of September to write me and start with the procedure. Let's do in August. We will be working on the department. We will be working in August, and as you see, we can do everything by May. So we can apply in August. This way, in the moment your card expires, you will be able to apply for the new one. What happens if, while we are waiting for the answer, your card expires? Don't worry. The law says that the application means that you are legal in Spain until you have the answer. Until the moment you have the answer, until the moment you have the new card, in fact. So if once we have applied, you are legal here and you can stay here without any problem. The only point is that if you need to travel, as I said in the first slide, you will need a return authorization with all the procedure you need for that, the appointment, and all the programs. Appointments for return authorizations in June, July, August, and November, December are horrible, because it's the moment everybody wants to travel because Christmas or for summer. So if you need to travel during this time and your card is expired, consider it with many time before this moment arrives. So in May, we can start preparing the things to do the autorización de regreso, return authorization. Or if it's in December, we can start thinking about it in October. Don't wait until the last moment. That happens too with other students other years, and it was like, I need to travel next week and my card is expired, or I need to travel next week and I will come back when my card is expired. What I need to do? Okay, you need a return authorization, but now the administration doesn't have appointments until 3 weeks or 4 weeks later. So if you travel you won't be able to enter again as a student. You will need to enter as a tourist with the risk or the problems if you need a visa to do that. So prevision, please. The resolution, once we have the answer, we will receive it. We, with ESADE, will book an appointment at the police in Barcelona or Sant Cugat or wherever. I have to say about this that last year we tried to do the things the best possible to get appointments, and at the beginning in April, May, June was quite possible to select a place or to select a data. Since August, we had a lot of problems with appointments in the whole province of Barcelona. It was impossible to get appointments. Sometimes in 1 month we couldn't get a single one. So if we have an appointment, well, after that, at the end of at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year, ESADE could have an arrangement with the police to get appointments for you, for the students of ESADE. But these appointments are very few and are like gold. So if you have the appointment, do everything possible to go, because if you don't go in that moment, we don't know when will you be able to have a new one, first thing. And second thing, if when we have the appointments, you don't go, it's very possible that the police says, okay, we don't want this agreement because we give you special appointments, and then the people doesn't come. We are not here to lose our time, okay? So please, very careful with the appointments to go to the police station. We hope someday they could solve this problem, have enough people in the police stations to attend everybody in every moment, and we can have the appointments easily. But that's not the situation now, and we don't expect to have a solution fast, because considering that all the police stations are closed since the 16th March, all the appointments during this time are canceled, and all the people who need to go during these times need to go when the situation ends. I think we will have problems with the appointments for the rest of the year for sure. So this is important. If you need to travel, if you need to do an exchange, we need to prepare with time the appointments, and we need to prepare with time the renewals, okay? Because we cannot remember that we cannot apply for the new car until the one you have is expired. So we can prepare everything, we have the answer, and we are ready trying to get the appointment for the first moment possible after the expiration of the car. If we start with the procedure when your car is expired, okay, we can do it 90 days after the expiration date. It's possible to apply, but we are applying after the expiration date. So your car is already expired. If we are applying in September or October, we will need to wait 2 or 3 months to have an answer being lucky. And that means during this time, your car is expired. And after you have the resolution, we will need the appointment to go to the police station, and 3 weeks or 4 weeks to get the new car. That means you can be 4 or 5 months, even more, with your car expired. And if you need to travel during this time, every time you need to travel, you will need a return authorization, because this is valid only for 1 trip. And if you need to travel inside the EU, inside Schengen, to be clear, it's inside Schengen. If you need to travel inside Schengen, this return authorization is not valid, because this return authorization is a permit to enter in Spain from outside Schengen. It's only a permit to enter again in Spain. It's not a permit to travel to another EU country. If you need to travel to another EU country, it will depend on that country, and sometimes even with the flight company, because the law says that to travel inside Schengen, you need a valid permit. It's true that if we have the resolution, if we have the answer saying that you have the permit, but we still don't have the car, it's supposed you have a valid permit. But sometimes the flight companies doesn't want to risk that you arrive to the other country and they don't accept you, and so they don't allow you to fly. We can have problems also traveling inside Europe because you could arrive to that country and the country without a valid card doesn't allow you to enter. We know last month in Germany, there were a lot of problems with people without valid cards. Even they have the resolution saying that they have a permit in Spain. When they arrive to Germany, the police stop them and starts a procedure that may end without any problem because they have the permit in Spain. But it's a bad moment being stuck there in the airport for some hours with the police without knowing what happens and going out with a paper saying they may fine you or you may not enter in Europe. I said it's not always what happens. Many times you travel inside Schengen and there are no border controls, so you can travel and you won't have any problem, but that could happen. Okay, so considering you will need to travel, we need to organize correctly the timings for the application until the moment we have the new card. We will send you an email with the information. So we have the answer, we have applied, we have the answer, and we have the appointment to apply for the new card, the new TIE. We will send you the letter with the resolution. We will send you the appointment. We will send you the tax form you will need to pay to apply for the card. So there are two taxes. That's another common question. We apply first with a tax. The moment we apply, this is the tax, 17 euros with 15 cents, as said. And once we have the answer and we apply for the card, we need a new tax, another one, a second one. Because sometimes the student says, I already paid when I send you the documents first time. No, it's a different one. So you pay one tax to apply and a second tax to apply for the card. And this second one is 18 euros with 92 cents for the moment. And we will send you also to you the application form for the TIE. And you will go in person the day of the appointment with your expired card, your original and copy of your passport, original copy of your passport. Always when you go to an administration, you need to bring your passport. It's your identification document from your country and your card if you have it, but your passport is very important. Sometimes we are in the police station waiting for a person and he arrives without the passport. Like, no, please bring your passport. And also a passport photo. You need to ask in Spain for a foto de carnet in any photo shop. Foto de carnet, and it's the valid photo for this procedure. This photo needs to be different from the one you have in your card now. So if you already have more photos, because when you do the photos for your card, they give you 4 or 6, always happen. They never give you one. You cannot pay one. It's 4 or 6 minimum. We don't. These photos are not valid because it needs to be a different one from the previous one. Suppose you have changed in 1 year, so it's a new photo. If you have changed your address from the one which is in your previous card, we need the new empadronamiento, as I said before, if you want to change it in the card. Again, if you can get it, if in that moment you haven't done the new empadronamiento or you couldn't go to the city hall to get the paper, doesn't matter. You will have the card with the old address, but it's not a problem. They won't go. They won't go to that house. They won't check anything, and they won't send anything to the house. But the card will be with the old address. Okay. But if you want to change it, the address, we will need a new certificado de empadronamiento o volante de empadronamiento, register in the city hall, the address, but the document is only valid for 1 month. So it needs to be issued less than 1 month ago to bring it to the police station to change it in the card. That day you need to go in person, as I said, because you need to stamp fingerprints. And as I said, I don't want your hand, I want you in person there. You will get a receipt, and you need to maintain this receipt until you get the new card. So after 4 weeks, sometimes it could be 4 weeks, you will go to the address which appears in the receipt. If it's in Barcelona, it's a different one. From that one you went to stamp fingerprints, it's another police station to pick up the card. But if it's outside of Barcelona, in other small places, it's the same place. You go with this receipt, with your original passport, and with the original of your old TIE, and they will give you the new card, okay? But after 4 weeks or 3 weeks, if they said it to you. And you need to go in person too to pick up the card. Nobody can go on your behalf. It's supposed you will stamp your fingerprints again to check that you are the correct person to get the card. So anybody can go on your behalf. Maybe when you go, they don't. It's not necessary to stamp fingerprints, but it's because they see easily that you are the person. If not, they will say to you to stamp fingerprints to be sure they give the card to the correct person. So these 2 moments you need to be in Spain, to stamp fingerprints to apply for the card and to pick up the card. And in these 2 moments, your card will be expired already. So if you are outside of Spain during these moments, you will need a return authorization to enter again to stamp fingerprints or to pick up the card. I'm insisting a lot with the return authorizations because under our experience from other years, that was the main request for all of you during the procedures. I need to travel and I don't have the card. I have the expired card. What I need to do? This is why I'm insisting very much with this point. This is all you need to know about the extension of the cards. I will stop here and we will do the answers. We will have later 5 minutes, 10 minutes to explain you very fast other options in the future, just to let you know when you end your studies in Spain, what can you do in the future. But it's not the objective of this webinar. The main one is to know about the renewal, about the extension, because it's the thing we need to do now. But I want to give you the presentation with this information, just if you are interested in the future to know which are the options, and then you can ask me by mail for any of them. So let's see your questions. I will go to preguntas and respuestas. So if you have questions, please do it in that area, as my colleague is saying you in the chat, because it's easy for me. The application will be done for the student as well as accompanying families. ESADE covers the application for the student, but we can also apply for your family members, but it will be an extra cost for you, and we will send you a budget with all the information and all the conditions, and you can hire our services apart from ESADE, because ESADE covers the service for the students, not for the family. Any bank account info, Daniela? Sorry, but I don't understand your questions. Any bank account? I'm sorry, but I don't understand your questions. If you want to give me more details, Daniela Betancourt, I will answer you. A scan should be color or black and white for passport. It could be black and white. That's not a problem. It doesn't need to be in color, but it needs to be good quality. And considering the stamps sometimes are very light, we need to see all the stamps clear, okay? But it could be black and white. Do we do the procedure through your agency now, as most of the expires in September, October? Okay, if your card expires in September, October, we are giving you now the information to be prepared to start the procedure in July, September, October. or in June. If your car expires at the beginning of September, since beginning of June, we can start with of July, we can start with the procedure. So we can start preparing documents at the end of June. We are doing this in this moment because there are a few of you that needs to start now, but also to be prepared and to do it with time, because all the reasons I give you. Later you will need to travel. In October you will need to go to an exchange, or in summer you will go to your country on holidays, or to another country, or other reasons. So that's why I'm giving you already the information. But we cannot apply now if your car expires in September or in October, because we need to start since the application needs to be done minimum 60 days or later after the expiration date. If you are planning to only return to Spain for a short period, 3 months, and that period fits within the Schengen tourist visa requirements for your country, it's necessary to renew. My recommendation is to renew, to apply for the renewal, because if we can do things and you can have the student permit, if in the future you are interested, or you have a job offer in Spain, or you are interested to go on here, it could be an option. Or you will be able to enter with your student permit and you don't need to ask for a visa, a tourist visa. But if you want to come as a tourist only for 3 months in the future, it's okay. We can do the application is done, the answer, we have it, you have the letter giving you the permit, and then you enter as a tourist, but in that moment you are a student too. To get we also need an answer. Maybe we can have an answer from ESADE now, because I'm not sure. You need to check that with the people in the campus, that if maybe you will need to be a student in Spain to get the title, to get the MBA certificate, or at least the official one from the university. And maybe if you are here as a student in that moment, it's not possible to get the title. I will see in the chat if there's somebody from ESADE here who can answer me. I don't know if it's Caroline here or anybody who can answer if it's necessary to be in Spain as a student when they finish the MBA to get the certificate. Okay, this is the question. Again, preguntas. We are not in Spain currently. How do we pay online for the tax form? Please provide the link on your website you mentioned to pay on our behalf. Once we start, we will send you by mail. It's in our website. Our website is here in the presentation. It's www.agmabogados.com, and there's a part which says clients area, and there you can pay by card. But don't do it without talk first, because we will see if it's the moment to apply or not. Okay, we will explain later in any case if it's possible, but you can pay by card in our website, and you don't need to be in Spain to do that. We have clients from many countries in the world, and they pay this way without any problem always. With only one statement is enough. With only one statement is enough. If the bank account, if the statement of that bank account says you have the money I said that you need, it's enough. You don't need more than account. And if the statement is from your family, it will depend on the amount, because we need to prove that they have money to live there, of course, to live them. And if you need 6,500 more or less euros per 1 year, if your family have this amount, it's not enough, because that's the amount you need, and they also need money to live. Okay, so let's see. But only a statement is enough. We need the money only at the moment of renewal, or a specific number of months prior to the renewal. We need in the moment we apply. They don't check if you have it months ago. at least for the moment. It's true that there are another option that could be less money, but the half of the money, I think, it's 3,500 more or less, or 800 in the account, and then we need to prove that in the last 6 months you receive every month 500 with 44 euros monthly income. Then we need the last 6 months bank statement. But if, under my experience, if we have a bank statement in Spain with 6,500, and this document is, we have it in the moment we apply, it's okay, and they don't check if you had this money 2 months ago or not, and they won't check either if you have the money 6 months later or 3 months later. My bank in Brazil is Santander. Is it considered as a Spanish bank or a Brazilian one? A Brazilian one, because the account, I suppose, is a Brazilian one, and it's not a Spanish bank account, and it's not in euros. But if you have a bank account in your country in euros, then the certificate will be easy to get it in euros, but we also need the way you have the money in Spain and the translation of the document. For economic resources, is family member notarial letter and their bank statement certificate is enough? I already explained it. I think it's explained. I suppose you did. Yeah, you did the question first. If my car expires the 14th August and I can apply until 90 days after the expiration, if I do it in November, applying to stay until March, how many months of the proof? Are the past months included? Yeah, that's another question. It's common. So if you need to prove 538 euros per month and you apply in November and then you apply until March, is November, December, January, February, March. It's only 5 months. So 5 months. It will be 2,700 euros for these 5 months and not 6,500 euros. It's possible. We can try. It's suppose you need to have the money for the whole year. So if your car expired in August, in that moment you need money too. But if you only will stay here for 5 more months, you only need the money for these 5 months. With this, we can defend it. If the administration requests for more money or more documents, we can defend it's money enough, because it's the months left until the end of your course, until the moment you will finish with your student permit in Spain. So we can try. But if we do that, I don't want then your questions about I need to travel, I need a return authorization, I don't have it, I need to travel tomorrow and my car is expired. Think about it, okay? If you will need to travel and we do this, we could have a problem because we may not have an answer until February. And if we have the answer in February and your course ends in March, you won't have a card in any moment since August. It will be since August until March next year as a student in Spain without a TIE, okay? My health insurance expires in the end of July. Do I need a validity time or I can renew later? When we apply, we need to prove that we have the extension until the end of the course or for the whole year. So you will need to renew it before applying. Hi, it's possible to show deposits of tal per month for the last 6 months and a total? Yeah, I have answered it. It's possible. It's possible to have less money, but prove that you receive monthly the month amount. My car expires in October, but I will not be in Barcelona from 16 June to December. What should I do? Then it's not possible to do anything with you, because if you cannot come in any moment in the middle of this period, you won't have the renewal. In October. Expires in October, but you won't come back until December. Well, the only thing which is possible, I consider, is we can apply without you being here in November or in October, and you enter in December as a tourist. That's the only solution. Or you come before the expiration of your card in October, and you apply for a return authorization to come back in December. The certificate of achievement is something that ESADE offers. Yes, it's the enrollment letter. No, the certificate of achievement is the carta de aprovechamiento, is the word in Spanish. It's aprovechamiento, but ESADE will provide it to you. Is the proof that you have passed the course, until now, and you are passing your classes and everything. If I go to a exchange program in September and the card expires on September, I will not be able to go to the fingerprints and the pickup appointments. I still need the visa to finish my program in January 2021. How can I address that situation? Well, it's the question I had, if they will give you the title even you don't have the permit. And Caroline says it's not necessary. You are in Spain to ask for the diploma. Okay, so you don't need to be here to apply for the diploma, but if you need to come back to finish the program here and you don't have a new TIE, you will need to enter as a tourist, as I said. Will the TIE appointment date be only the after expiration of the current card? Yes, I have said it many times. We cannot apply for a new card until the one you have is expired. So we cannot have the appointment until that moment. Do you have information on the Social Security application process given the current situation? The Social Security application process, to have a Social Security number, I suppose, maybe to do an internship or something like that. There are some forms, numbers, and some ways to apply online for the Social Security number if you are in this situation, because the offices are closed. You can Google it and check the information. You will find it, or send me an email and I will give you this information. Do we need to notify AGM Abogados if we want the appointment for return authorization, or do I only need to do it directly with the police station? If you want us to help you with the return authorization, to get the appointment and to prepare forms, taxes, etc., you need to tell us to pay our fees and do it with time, because as I said, the appointments are not easy to get. If you want to do it yourself, you have the information in the campus in ESADE or in the Students Advisor Center. They have the information how to ask for a return authorization. You can do it on your behalf. But it's good that you inform us about your trips to know where are you in Spain or not, in order to prepare things for the appointments for the new card. I want to know, or I need to know when you are here, because as I said, it's very difficult to get an appointment. So if you don't tell me that you are leaving and I get, or ESADE gets this appointment, and then you are not here, it's a pity, because we have lost the opportunity for other person. So we will get an email about the text from you this week, or we have to send you email from now. You need to send me the mail with all the documents I have explained in the presentation we need to apply for the renewal, okay? Or at least the information when your card expires and your passport, to know when we can start. But I will be waiting your information. I will not send you an email. I give you this information. You will have my email because it's at the end of the presentation. You have all the list of documents we need. Of course, the form and the representative document, I will prepare it when you send me the copy of your TM passport and other documents, but you can start the communication. Regarding the money we need to have, do we need to have it for more than 1 month? We need to provide the proof, the document, in the moment we apply. Once we apply, and in the time we don't have the answer, the administration could ask for new documents, and they could ask for a new bank certificate maybe, because the previous one was wrong, or the document was done, was broken, something. So I recommend to wait until we have the answer to send back the money wherever. ¿Puedo pedir la cita antes de que expire el TIE? ¿Cuánto tiempo antes puedo pedir la cita? Can I ask for the appointment of to go to the police station, I understand, before the expiration of the TIE? Yeah, we can ask for the appointment, but appointments are very imprevisible. Sometimes we get an appointment for the next week, and sometimes we get an appointment for the next month. So with the agreement now, ESADE has, they consider the date that your card ends, and they will try to get an appointment as soon as possible after that moment. But we need to know if you are here or not, and you need to be available to go. If you have a class that day, don't worry, you will have an authorization from ESADE to go to the police station. You will be able to go. You won't have problems with your teacher or with the class or anything, because ESADE knows about the difficulties to get these appointments and will arrange things to go to the police station that day. Okay, so we can prepare before the expiration of the card, but we cannot be sure that we will have the appointment for the next day exactly after the expiration. All of us are trying to do our best, the people in the Students Advisor Center and us, with the appointments. But if you see the news, or if you check problem in Google, problemas, citas, extranjería, you will see a lot of the news in the newspapers with this problem, because it's a big problem for everybody. Sorry. Okay, we have a few questions more. Is there any date validity period for bank certificate? Yeah, it's maximum 1 month. 1 month in the moment we apply. If the document has more than 1 month, we will need a new one. After I get the resolution, how much time I have to ask for the NIE? In the resolution, it says you have 1 month to ask for it. But as there are a lot of difficulties to get the appointments, it's possible to apply for a new TIE if there's more than 6 months validity of your permit. So if you have a permit until March, you will be able to apply for the new cards if we apply more than 6 months before that day. If your permit ends in March and we have the answer in October, in November we cannot apply for a new card because your permit is less than 6 months. If your permit is for 1 year, we can apply for the new card in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, always after we have less than 6 months of validity. Do we need to request the certificate of achievement, or do you receive it from ESADE? You need to ask for it in the campus. The advisors, student center, or students advisor center will tell you how to get it. Melanie, do you have any experience when showing funds in online banks such as Revolut and 26? If we have a bank certificate, a bank statement with a digital signature of the bank, it's okay. But we need a bank certificate with a digital signature. It's not valid printed of your account or things like that. Well, we have all the questions. I will go fast with these other things about other options in the future, but very fast. While you are a student, you can do a convenio de prácticas, an internship agreement. It's possible to do it while you are a student. You don't need to change your permit, but this is not a work. With an internship agreement means you are learning in a company, but you are learning. You are not working, and you are not receiving a salary. You could receive a help, a money help for the expenses for travel or the expenses of eating outside your house or things like that. And there's a minimum with the ESADE of payment, but it's not a job. It's not and then it's not a contract. And you only can do this while you are a student. So it's during your course, during the time your course is you are enrolled. During the time you are enrolled in ESADE, you can do this convenio de prácticas or internship agreement. When you finish your studies, it's not possible to do an internship agreement. There are other options, but then it's job options, contract, job contract. So here it says the difference between the convenio de prácticas or internship agreement with the internship contract. The internship agreement is an agreement between the university, the company, and you. So that means that you need to be enrolled in the university, because if not, there's not such agreement between the three parts. When you finish, you will be able to do an internship contract. That's a job contract. It's a job contract, but for people who have just finished the studies. You receive your salary, you have the same rights of an employee in the company, but it's a special kind of contract for those people who have just finished a master or a degree or an MBA. And it's there's some options to pay you less money because you are still learning or having experience because you have just finished your studies. But that's a contract, not the internship agreement. So it's different. To have the internship agreement, you need to be a student, remain enrolled for the duration of the course. So you will have, as a student, you are only staying in Spain. You are legal in Spain, but you stay in Spain. You don't have a residence permit. You have a stay permit, which is different. A resident permit counts in the future to have long-term permits or to apply for the citizenship. If you want to apply for a residence permit, we have options with internship agreements or internship contracts, both options. But if you apply for an internship agreement resident permit, or a resident permit with the internship agreement, when you finish the internship agreement, to go on with a resident permit, you will need to apply for another permit with an internship contract. If not, your residence in Spain will be stopped. These permits are options. Once the one with internship agreement while you are studying, and the other one, the internship contract, once you finish your studies. Once you finish your studies, if there's a company who wants to sponsorize you to hire you with an internship contract, we can apply for a resident permit. There's another one, which is the permit to seek a job, to look for a job, seeking employment, or the job searching visa. This permit, you can apply for it once you finish your official studies. So in March, when you end the course, or in April, when you finish the MBA, and you will have the receipt of the end of the course. If you don't have a job in that moment, but you want to remain in Spain and look for other options, you can apply for this permit, and you will have a permit for 1 year to look for a job. When you find the job, you cannot start working automatically. You will need to apply for a permit, a different kind of permit, the internship contract permit, or a different kind of permit if there are other options for you in the law. But it's not possible to start working automatically. It's a permit to give you the opportunity during a year to look for this job. If you find the job the next day you apply for the job searching visa, it's okay. We don't need to wait until the end of the year. In any moment during this year, we can change this permit for one who will allow you to work. And there's another option for high qualified permits. but this means we need to, for this permit, we can apply in any moment. We don't need to wait until you finish. If you have a job offer now with any company in a high qualified position with a salary plus than 40,000 per year, the company needs to have some conditions. Well, but you are, sorry, here there's a mistake. I need to change this. This is ESADE, sorry. You are graduate and postgraduate from ESADE, so it's a university well known with prestige, and you can apply for this permit, but you need a salary for 40K per year. So this is high qualified permit, and there are also other options. If you want to entrepreneur, you can apply for an entrepreneurship permit, but not all the business projects are valid for this kind of permit. I see many questions now for these permits. If you are interested, you can talk with ESADE, and we can prepare another webinar only with this information, because it's very long to explain everything now. Okay. No, okay, the questions were the previous ones. It's okay. So that's all the information. I want to give you a general point of view about the options in the future. As I said, if you want more information about these permits to know it up for the future, we can talk by mail, or we can prepare another webinar. To apply for tourist visa, do we need to be in our home country? Yes. Any kind of visa, when we say visa, is a stamp in the passport that needs to be done in the Spanish consulate in your country, in your home country, or in a country where you have a resident permit. If you are in another country as a tourist, then you cannot apply for a tourist visa from that country. But if you have a resident permit in that country, you can apply in the Spanish consulate in that country. Okay. So I think we have all the questions. Thank you very much. Here you have my email. This is my team: Laura, Esther, Judith, and Irene. All of them speak English, so you can contact us in English without any problem. Esther also speaks Chinese, so any of you is from China, you can directly contact them in Chinese, and we can answer your doubts too if you prefer. Well, we will be in touch in the next months to prepare all your renewals, and we will be very pleased to help you. And I hope all of you are great, and your families, and we pass through this situation as soon as possible, and we can come back to our lives, to our studies, and to our works without any problem very, very soon. Thank you very much.